A bell chimed overhead as she pulled the door open and was drawn in by the most delectable, sugary, sweet aromas. Candies, chocolates, taffies, gummies, and lollipops of all kinds lined the shelf walls. Customers ambled by, scooping up goodies into bags, while foes begged for a taste of everything. And there, standing at the register, was the mare of Lyra's dreams. A picture-perfect but genuine smile rested over her face as she rang a customer through. Even even in the store's lighting, her beige coat seemed to glow, and Lyra knew it came from what made her happiest. Blue and pink curls bobbed as she lifted her head to see who just walked in. Bright blue eyes met gold, and a smile on Bonbon's face flattered for barely a second. Lyra's heart skipped a beat, and a dozen more butterflies joined the ones in her stomach. Keep it cool, she told herself, as she moved her hooves closer to the counter. As smells of confectionery washed over her, she felt the fluttering in her stomach ease up. She closed her eyes and breathed in deeply, letting the calming feeling spread through her chest. When she opened her eyes, she was standing in front of the register. Bomb tapped her hooves on the counter and glanced to the side. Lyra tried not to let her confidence waver when she saw her ears fold back. Hey, Lyra. The weeks of flirting had been awkward for both parties. Lyra knew she needed to open with something strong, something that grabbed Bonbon's attention. Hello, beautiful. Or can I just call you Bonbon? Bonbon groaned and rubbed her cheeks. To Lyra's delight, they were the faintest shade of pink. Do we have to go through this again? A wide, tootly smile bloomed over Lyra's face. Until you and me go out, you can bet your cute flank that we do. Lyra, Bonbon hissed, leaning over the counter. Lyra was more than happy to return the gesture, bringing them closer together. There are foals present, with their parents, I might add. Aw, but Bonbon, Lyra pouted. You get so adorable when you're all frustrated. Grumbling, Bonbon moved back behind the register. Is there something I can help you with? Maybe related to candy? Can't I visit my favorite mare on my favorite holiday? Lyra asked, weaving innocence in her voice. Holiday? Oh, Bonbon blinked, staring at the four-leaf clover tucked into Lyra's mane. Lyra wiggled her ears and grinned. Huh. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I guess that explains why why every pony's wearing green. Lyra's smile trembled with effort of keeping her laughter in check. Most ponies, Bonnie, some ponies, like me, are just naturally green. Others, like a certain mare I know, happen to forgot. She waggled her her eyebrows, and her horn glowed in a golden era. And you know what happens to ponies who don't wear green on St. Paddy's Day, don't you? A wrinkle formed in Bonbon's brow as it frowned. Then her eyes widened, and her face flushed from her neck to the tips of her ears. Lyra Heartstrings, she squeaked, eyeing Lyra's horn and covering her flank with her tail. Don't you dare! You know what? You know you want to, Lyra sang. Come on, Bonbon. You're not wearing green, so you owe me a little pinch wherever I want. Somehow, Bonbon's face turned even redder, and she hugged her tail protectively over her flank. Don't. With a grin, Lyra cut the magic flowing to her horn. All right, but you gotta do something for me. I, I don't let I don't let go of my St. Paddy's Day pinches lightly. That seemed enough to convince Bon Bon as she lowered her tail, caution reflected to her in her eyes, though, and her shoulders were squared and tense. What do you want? Well, let's put it this way, Lyra started, leaning across the counter. She took her time looking over Bon Bon's frame and licked her lips. You liked You look like you're magically delicious, and I happen to be a serial lovemaker. Bon Bon blinked. A lapse of silence fell between them, the sounds of other ponies in the store fading away. Lyra donned a tootly grin and winked. Perfect. Bon Bon blinked again. Her jaw opened and closed, but no sound came out save for a strangled noise in the back of her throat. Her face flushed a cherry red before she finally managed to splutter out. Excuse me? Lyra's grin flattered. It wasn't the reaction she was going for. Blushing? Yes. Adorably frustrated and unable to speak? Absolutely. Wide eyes filled with shock, bleeding away to what she really hoped wasn't anger? Definitely not. She said, clearing her throat and throwing her grin back on. I said you look like you're magically delicious? Bon Bon shook her head. I can't believe you sometimes, Lyra. Her voice softened, and Lyra's ears perked up to better catch her next words. When are you going to learn that these stupid lines aren't going to work? At that, Lyra's smile returned in full force. Never, she cheered, propping herself up onto the counter to meet the eyes she'd been daydreaming about for weeks. Know why? Because you totally love them and you're just too stubborn to admit it. Or maybe you're too stubborn to see that they don't work. Bon Bon sighed and rubbed her temple. Is there anything I can actually do for you, or are you here just to give me a headache? Oh, it's not about what you can do for me. Lyra hopped up onto the counter and leaned on the register. A line that formed behind her of ponies directed varied degrees of irritated looks her way. Not that it mattered. She always loved an audience. It's all about what I can do for you. Like getting out of my store before I file a restraining order? Bon Bon arched her brow. The legal office is just down the street. Please, if you wanted to do that, you would already done it. You dig me. I dig you, and all these ponies are going to watch me prove it. Waggling her ears, Lyra leaned down to bring her nose to nose with her soon-to-be girlfriend. She sniffed, and her heart did a little conga in her chest. Bon Bon always smelled of something sweet, a smell that would keep on dragging Lyra back for more. Want to know how? Bon Bon's eyes flickered from Lyra to the queue of ponies on the other side of the counter. She rolled her eyes and snorted. How are you going to prove it, Lyra? Choosing to ignore the flatterness of her voice, she lidded her eyes. I told you that this is all about what I can do for you. It looks like you could use a little luck, she said, lowering her voice to a husky whisper. And it just so happens that my lips are like barley stone. Give 'em a kiss for good luck. Some pony behind her groaned. Bon Bon followed suit. You're kidding. Only one way to find out, Lyra purred. On some level, she just knew that Bon Bon must have been forcing herself to keep from trembling. Her smolder was perfect. Even its reflection made Lyra a little weak in the knees. Lyra, Bon Bon said, her voice strained. I'm going to have to ask you to buy something or get out. It was an admirable performance, but Lyra saw a weakness in the other mare's armor. Now, about I buy you a nice dinner instead. She waggled her ear for with the four-leaf clover tucked in beside it. We'll see where things go from there. I'm feeling pretty lucky today. Fair warning. I might recommend the candied rose petals, Bonbon asked, squaring up her shoulders and scrunching her muzzle up in defiance. There was an opportunity, and Lyra took it. Why would I why would I want those when I have got my eyes on the sweetest thing in store? A streak of red blossom over Bonbon's face. Oh, you something between a whine and a frustrated groan escaped from her throat, and she stopped her hoof. No, 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 no. Take your ridiculous lines and get out of my store. Come on, Lyra. Come on. Lyra slid off the counter, but kept her eyes fixed on Bonbon's adorable blushing face. Just one little dinner. You, me, some pasta, a couple bottles of red wine. I'll make it worth your while. She winked. The Neolithic promise. Out! Bonbon barked, pointing at the door. Lyra opened her mouth, another quip ready on her tip of her tongue. When an impatient cough turned her head, the queue of shoppers had grown, and so had the irritation she felt coming off them in waves. Fine, she said, stepping away from the register to let the next pony in line move forward. But it's not over. I'm not going to give up until you agree to go on a date with me. Of course you're not, Bonbon sighed as she started ringing the pony true. Mark my words, by the end of the day, we'll be having the most romantic dinner of your life, Lyra announced, working her way backwards into the store entrance. She waved her hoof in a wide arc and said, All of you bear witness to these last few hours of Bonbon's single life. Consider them marked, Lyra, Bonbon said in one bored tone. The smallest of smiles made her lips twitch. That comes to 8 bits even. Noteworthy. Oh, they best be, Lyra beamed, swinging the door open, because it's St. Paddy's Day, and I'm going to shamrock your world.